Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Joy Etor, and today's video I am going to be sharing 5 tips that would make your marriage work in 2021. I know it's half of the year already, but trust me, these tips can do the magic in your marriage. So if you want to hear what these tips are, please keep watching. So like I said, today's video I am going to be sharing with you 5 tips that can make your marriage, that will make your marriage work. Take it from right here to up here in 2021. Yes, I know it is already half of the year, but trust me, these tips can do the magic in your marriage. If you start them now in July, by December you will start reaping the benefits. Now, I know that the rate of divorce out there right now makes it seem like, oh, marriages don't last anymore, marriages don't work. There's so much, everybody is like an expert and a pro when it comes to marriages these days. But I know for a fact that there are good marriages. I know for a fact that marriages work, okay? But the thing is, people do not exactly know what it entails to be married or stay married. I did a video sometime back on my channel here. I'm going to leave a link here so you guys can check it out, about the truth about marriage that people do not talk about. You guys, you need to watch that video if you have not. I shared everything there is to know about marriage that is not on social media, that people do not tell you about. And these are the reasons why marriages are crashing these days. These are the reasons why marriages seem like a hell, instead of it to be a home where you are loved and you are enjoying every bit of it. Okay, please check out that video so you would know and understand what it is about marriage, what you need to be prepared about when it comes to marriage and all of that. So now, straight into today's video, right? I am going to be sharing these tips and they have worked for me. I'm going to be sharing examples of how these tips have worked for me and how they have changed my marriage, and that's why I'm able to share them here with you, knowing that they are going to work for you as well. Now, the first tip is you have to be intentional. Guys, there is no back way to this one. You cannot shortchange it. What you put in is what you get out. You have to be intentional. According to my mother in the Lord, Faith Uyedekpo, she said in one of her books, I'm trying to remember the book right now, but if I remember, I'll put it on the screen. She said that assumption is the beginning, the mother of frustration. When you begin to assume in your marriage, when you begin to assume your partner knows this and should do this, you're already building resentment in that marriage. You're opening up doors for separation. You're opening up doors to be two different individuals in that marriage. You have to be intentional about everything you do in your marriage. How you talk to your partner, what you say to your partner, how you treat your partner. The reason why you have to be intentional about this is how you treat your partner in turn determines how they are going to treat you. You cannot treat your husband as a slave and expect him to treat you like a queen. You can't possibly treat your husband as a houseboy, a nobody, and expect him to treat you like a son. And expect him to treat you like a somebody. It just doesn't work that way. Do you understand? You have to be intentional. If you want him to treat you like a queen, or you want her to treat you like a king, meaning you have to treat her like a queen and then you treat him like a king so he can do that. All right? You have to be intentional about what you do. See, people think that once you just get married, the wedding is over, it is bliss after all, or rather, how do they put it? Happily ever after. The truth is, the work starts after the wedding. The wedding is just a ceremony. The real marriage is making it work and making it work well. You don't want to be a fellow housemate with your partner in the house. I know some marriages that they are just housemates and parents to their children. When it comes to them, there's nothing between them anymore. Like nothing is working, nothing is flowing. Now, I'm going to share a very, very personal example with you guys. When I had my first child, if you go through my channel, you will understand. When I had my first child, I was so scared because I've seen marriages that after their first babies, really, there's this major disconnect with the couple. Because the baby has come, the wife is busy with the baby, she's busy, so many things, her life has changed, and it is hard for her to prioritize her husband or her marriage. And some men do not understand that this is only a phase and they need to walk through it together. So as such, there's a major disconnect between the husband and the wife during this process. So when I was pregnant with my first baby, I made sure that I talked over this thing with my husband over and over, like, honey, see, this is how these people are doing this. This is how these people are doing that. This is how I've seen that these people changed after they had a baby. I don't want that to happen for us. So when we had our daughter, even with all the issues that came with her, We were intentional about spending time together. We were intentional about checking up on each other and checking to make sure that there's no disconnect. Like, even after the baby has gone to bed and I'm tired, I'm like, honey, is there anything you want? Is there something you need us to discuss about? I know I've been busy all day with the baby. He too is checking up on me to make sure that everything is good and we're on the same page, basically. I tried my best to make sure that I wasn't like on a different page and he was on a different page and we only talk about our baby together. Most people do this. We were intentional about making sure there is no disconnect. Like, we are the same. Nothing is changing. You guys, I don't know what is wrong with my camera. Okay. Yeah, so we were intentional about this because we didn't want that to be our story at all. So that's what I mean when I say be intentional about your marriage. If you notice that something is going left and you want it to go right, please do the work. Be ready to do the work to make it come right. Don't just sit back and expect things to happen. I think that's where a lot of couples lose it or make these mistakes when it comes to marriages. You believe that you're just going to sit and it will happen. No, it does not happen that way at all. So you have to be intentional about everything about your marriage. If there's a certain way you used to talk to your partner before you guys got married, make sure you have not lost touch with that same way you used to talk to him, how you used to serve him, how you used to communicate your feelings to him. It is so easy to get frustrated running after the house, running after children, and then you do not know that you're passing that frustration to your partner. Which brings me to the next step. Okay, this is the next tip, right? You need to learn how to communicate effectively. You guys, you cannot underplay the role of communication in a marriage. I know, it sounds cliche because you've heard it over and over, communicate, communicate, communicate. But oftentimes, what you are doing is passing on your frustration. What you are doing is you're communicating emotions and you're not actually letting the person through to what you're saying and how you are feeling. You are allowing your emotions speak for you. That's exactly what you're doing. You need to learn how to communicate effectively. Guys, this is the magic. When you know how to communicate to your partner and your partner knows how to communicate with you, people will think that you guys use jazz. People will think that, what's even up with them? Say, are they perfect? You guys are not perfect. You just know, you're just two imperfect people that know how to make each other perfect, how to come together and make it work, which is what marriage is about. So learn how to communicate with your partner. Personally, I am somebody that I love to make events memorable. I love to make dates memorable. But very early on, I noticed that my husband was not that kind of person. He didn't grow up like that. So as such, he didn't pay attention to such things. But I'm somebody that loves things like that. So instead of getting frustrated, which I was getting frustrated at some point, I needed to find how to communicate to him that this thing is important to me and I would like, if it is important to you as well, to care about these things. Now, instead of quarreling, which is the usual way, like, I want to make sure my birthdays are done. I want to make sure anniversaries are celebrated. I want to do that. I want to do that. I started making sure that every event, every date, I did something memorable to make him realize that, oh, this is how it is supposed to be done. I'm supposed to do it this way. I'm supposed to do it that way. With me showing him how it is done, I was able to effectively communicate what I wanted to him without screaming, without quarreling, without exchanging words. It was so easy for him to get it. Okay? It was so easy for him to get it. And now he feels like, oh, I need to do this on this special day. I need to do that on that special day. It is important that you learn how to communicate. The role of communication, the place of communication in marriage cannot be overemphasized It is so, so important. In this day and age of social media, learn how to communicate with your partner. Maybe what was working for you guys before you got married is not working anymore, because you know what? People have grown, things have changed, and responsibilities are piling up and all of that. So you need to learn how you're going to communicate without quarreling, without resorting to exchanging words. And communication is you being able to tell your partner how you feel without necessarily showing him how you feel. I don't know if that makes sense. I am angry, but I don't have to show anger. I don't have to start shouting. I don't have to start screaming. I don't have to start hitting you for you to know I am angry. I can effectively tell you that I am angry without having to show you that I am angry. So it is important that you learn how to communicate with your partner. It is so, so important. And this brings me to number 3 points. God. This should have been number 1 actually, but anyway, you cannot properly function in an institution that you do not understand. Marriage is an institution that is created by God. So for you to understand marriage, for you to understand how marriage works, for you to be able to walk in marriage, you need to meet with the maker. You need to understand the maker. It is just like when you buy a new appliance that you have never used before, which is marriage. You've never been married before, yeah? When you get a new appliance, what do? You go through the manual. You read how you're supposed to turn it on, what you're supposed to do at a certain time, what you're supposed to not do at a certain time. You get the knowledge about it from the manufacturers of that product, not from your head, not by assuming. I don't know if you guys are understanding me. That is exactly how marriage is. You need to go back to God. You need to go to God, who is the creator of marriage, who designed marriage. If you lack a relationship with God, you are going to lack in your marriage. You're going to lack love in your marriage. You're going to lack understanding in your marriage. Because God is the one that will give you clarity. God is the one that will give you the manual to be able to use that which He created. He knows it best. He knows why He created it. He knows for what reason He created it. So you going to Him is going to help you understand it and perform better in marriage. This is not just about Christianity and stuff. This is the truth. Okay, many people neglect God as soon as they get married. You know how you're able to pray and ask God for a life partner? I want this kind of man, I want this kind of woman, and all that talk before you get married. And once you get married, unless you have an issue that you need God for, you just sidetrack Him. No. Marriage is made by God. Marriage was made by God. God understands it best. So you need to give it back to Him. You need to go back to Him. And in going back to God, you need to go as an individual and as a couple, because you on your own need to have a personal relationship with God. And as a couple, you need to come to God to understand how to work together. Alright? So do not neglect the place of God in your home. Now this brings me to tip number 4. This one is so important, guys. Never compare your relationship or your marriage with anybody. Couple goals everywhere. You go on social media, couple goals, couple goals, couple goals. But let me tell you something. Majority of what you see on social media are tailored to portray a certain lifestyle. They are not telling the truth. And even if some are telling the truth, I do not believe that you should tailor your marriage around someone else's marriage. Do not compare your partner. Do not compare your husband. Do not compare your wife. Everybody has different experiences. It works for everybody differently. So you cannot compare. What people are going through, they're not going to come to you and tell you. They're going to only tell you what they're comfortable telling you, what they're comfortable sharing with you. So you have to be very, very careful. And that's why if you follow tip number 3, which is going to God, you will understand and you will be able to discern what you should tailor your marriage after and what you should not, what you should follow and what you should not follow at all. Do not compare anybody, guys. Comparing your wife to another woman. Oh, Cynthia had 3 babies and she's back like this. She doesn't look like she had babies. And you just had 1 baby and you're looking like this. Okay, it is so wrong. She's not Cynthia. Why didn't you marry Cynthia? Oh, this man, Mr. Paul, is doing this for the wife and doing that for the wife, and you're not doing it for me. Oh, this is how they go, and this is how they have date nights and stuff. You cannot compare your marriage. I can't possibly want to have a date night with my husband and be going out. Who is going to care for my kids? Like, who is going to do that? Nobody. Do you get? So it can't work for me. I can't possibly now. I see it and I'm like, oh, that's nice. But I now try to find a way to make it work for me. I try to find a way to make it work for my home in a way that benefits us. So instead of comparing and then trying to do it how every other person is doing, I instead get inspired, which is what you should get. Don't compare, but be inspired to, okay, this is how they're doing it. I can actually use this to make mine work. Get inspired, but do not compare. Comparison is bad. Don't compare your spouse, don't compare your children, don't compare anything that has to do with you to somebody else, because you guys are 2 different people. It's 2 different worlds apart, and you are unique in your own way. Only you can make your marriage work the way that it can suit you best. All right, now this brings me to tip number 5. Try out new things, guys. Marriage is fun, marriage is exciting, but it can get boring. Boring really quickly. That's because you're sticking to a routine, and routines are boring unless you find a way to spice them up, unless you find a way to refresh them. Routines get boring over time, and that is why some people tell you they are bored of their marriage or they are bored of their partner, because it is a routine, it is a circle. They have continued in that circle for so long. So you need to break that circle, you need to break that routine. Be open about trying new things, okay? This with regards to your food, with regards to your communication patterns, with regards to even the bedroom. Don't be boring. Marriage was meant and made to be enjoyed and not endured. God created marriage for you to come together and be one and enjoy the company of each other. Meaning that you should be able to explore a lot of things as partners, as couples. So be open. This is 2021. Be open to trying new things. If you guys were not going out before and you can actually go out, maybe that's the spark that you need to reawaken things in your home, to reawaken things in your marriage. Maybe what you need is to put the kids with your mom or your mother-in-law or somebody to take care of them, and go out with your partner and spend time together. If it's a couple vacation, you can do that. If it's a movie together, you can do that. I and my husband, we rarely have the time to sit and watch movies, but whenever we can sit down at night and watch a movie, it does a whole lot of magic. And I try as much as possible to always spice things up. Weekends, I try to bake, you know, just create this atmosphere in the home. I don't stick to a certain, because sticking to a routine, like I said, is boring. So you have to learn how to spice things up. Alright, these are my top 5 tips to help your marriage work in 2021. I hope you enjoyed them. I hope you learned a thing or two. And if you did, let me know in the comment section which tips got to you, which tips you have tried or you are trying, and how you intend to make your marriage better in 2021. Because guys, our marriages would work. Our marriages will work if we put in the work. God created marriage to work. God created marriage for his own glory, and it is important that we don't let that go. It is important that, you know, you look back and you're like, I did the work and it was all worth it. Alright, so thank you guys so much for watching my video. And if you've watched up to this point, you're not a part of this family yet by subscribing, what's up? Click the subscribe button and be part of this family. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell so you will always be notified when I post my videos. Alright, give me likes and thumbs up on this video. Leave me your comments in the comment section. Let's discuss. Is there anything about marriage that you're finding difficult and you want me to talk about it? Let's discuss in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.